Hey guys, I'm Wolfie. John Lynch is right now at a meeting with a bunch of GMs and a bunch of head coaches where they all get together, answer a bunch of questions from the media. And quite recently, the media has asked John Lynch, hey, the Dre Greenlaw situation. You went down there last minute, 11th hour, saying, hey, we know that you agreed to a deal with the Broncos for $35 million, 3 years. We would like to offer you more money for the guy. And it turns out that Dre Greenlaw was like, nah, man, I'm gonna stick to my word and I'm gonna go with the Broncos. There's a whole conversation there, but let's go ahead and jump into his response to those questions at this meeting. What went into your trip with Kyle to meet with Dre Greenlaw? Were you surprised by how quickly he reached a deal? Did you feel you had to scramble to reel him back in? This is Lynch. No, as I mentioned, it was a complicated case because he's such a game-changing player. That's true. There are not many needle movers in football. He's a needle mover. It's hard. The same thing happened to me in Tampa. Mike Shanahan was fine to take me after I had some surgery on my neck because he hadn't watched football. He hasn't watched all the carnage go on, but the Bucs were kind of done with me. We weren't done with Dre, but we had to go through the process, and other teams were aggressive in their pursuit of him, and we were kind of forced to be somewhat reactive. And then when the market was set, we wanted to go have a conversation with our guy who would have who we have a lot of respect and love for. We had a good discussion with him. He made a decision, and we respect that decision. We're grateful for Dre for all the great work he did for us, and we wish him the best. I don't really usually bash the front office because I like John Lynch, right? I like what he does. I mean, I think he's good in the draft. I think he gets deals done, et cetera. But it sounds to me they're playing hardball, and it came back and bit them in the ass. There should have been way more precedents set to sign him, as in like, hey, Dre, go see what your market is, and whatever it is, we'll beat that market, like something like that. It doesn't sound like something like that was actually done. It doesn't sound like something like that was made. It sounds to me that they were playing hardball, and it just did not work out, and that's a huge L. A lot of 49ers fans are upset that Dre Greenlaw is not on this team anymore, is now playing for the Broncos. Personally, I can care either way. I think he's injury prone, and I think availability is the best ability, so I'm okay with him going away. But for the San Francisco 49ers, they clearly see that how important he was. If they thought he was worth $15 million a year, they should have offered him that money at the end of the day. Considering how many teams were pursuing him, there was like 5 or 6 being reported that they wanted this guy. They should have went out and offered him more money. Just said, hey, we'll give you more money than any other team here. Right? This will be our line. And at the end of the day, if the 49ers, if the reports came out that, hey, yeah, the 49ers tried before the deal of the Broncos situation that, hey, they tried, they offered more money, but Dre just said, no, I want to go somewhere where he has said himself that, hey, I want to be the main guy. And then with the Broncos, he will be. There's certain things you need to get ahead of, and they didn't do that. So this is kind of a huge L on their part, especially considering how important they feel Dre Greenlaw is to this team. For them to fly all the way down to Texas to his home and be like, hey, we want you here. We want you to do this. After they agreed to the deal, they were expecting Dre Greenlaw to go full, what's that linebacker's name that played for that was going to sign with us, but signed with Texas, the Dallas Cowboys. I can't think of his name, but we all know it as 49ers fans. He went and played for the Dallas Cowboys, backing out of the deal. And they thought maybe they could do the same thing with Dre Greenlaw. Respect to Dre Greenlaw. Kept his word and said, no, I'm signing with the Broncos. Maybe it was because maybe he was going to say no regardless. But once you agree to a deal, man, you got to say yes to that, dude. It's your word. It's your bond. It's part of the business, right? Once you agree to that deal, man, you got to do it, right? So Eric Kendricks, that was the guy. So for the Dallas Cowboys that we were assigned, and they went to the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is a huge L. I think regardless of what the word salad that John gave us here, it sounds to me that they knew who he was, knew how important he was, and they played games with it, right? They thought that maybe, hey, we can hear their best offer, the best offer that's going to be offered to him, and then we can go out there and get him because he loves us. That was a stupid strategy. If you wanted to keep the guy, considering how much, like, it wasn't like, one person had an offer, so they'd be like, okay, only one team offered you, like, hey, we'll offer you more, etc. He was wanted. People wanted him. Teams around the league wanted him. If you wanted to keep the guy like that, considering how much hype he had and how much people really, really wanted him, you should have offered him this contract a long time ago. You should have said, hey, this is going to be the best offer they're going to get. They probably thought, at the end of the day, that he was going to get less than that, considering his injury situation. They had to have. They had to have underestimated the need for Dre Greenlaw, how much people wanted Dre Greenlaw, expecting his injury-prone ability and his injury proneness to really come into a factor where people are just offering like $10 million, $8 million. No, the man got like 12 million, I think 12, 11 million, something like that, right? And I think the 49ers offered more than that when they went and go visit him. And they thought, man, if we really showed how much we love him, we could get him back.
That was a stupid idea.
I don't think it was smart considering how much they wanted him. Me personally, I'm okay with moving on from him, but if they wanted him that bad, they should have played games in the first place. Again, I'm not one to talk smack about the front office because I do think that not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything is going to go according to plan. Every GM fails at something. It happens, right? Like, not everything happens in a vacuum. What does this mean for the 49ers in the draft? This probably means they're going to make linebacker a huge priority. Linebacker, that one linebacker that's down the hill, good tackler, Dre Greenlaw-esque linebacker is probably going to be a priority heading into the draft. I truly believe that, considering how important they think he plays and how much money they were going to commit to a guy who has injury-prone ability, because he does. They understand how important that Fred is to being the cover guy, being middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, and then having that one linebacker that can help support the D-line, that can help support the run defense, etc. They know how important that is. And I'm not even counting Dre Greenlaw's ability to get the entire defense just riled up, because that's what he does. He's super good at that. He enhanced the defense just based on his aura alone. Now I feel like they're going to go after a linebacker who obviously you can't replace Dre Greenlaw easily. You know, getting a guy who just loves football so much that's going to give it his all and just enhance the defense just based on just being on the field. But it sounds to me that they think this position in general is important. It sounds to me that they think that we need a guy who's going to help this D-line, especially a young one, because they're going to draft some D tackles and they're going to draft some D ends that are super young. So they probably thought to themselves, okay, if we take care of the back end and just focus on the D-line situation, we'll be fine. If they thought that, they should have just took care of it and said, hey, here's your money. Could have been Jen York that said, hey, no, you need to play hardball. Could have been GM and Parag say, no, we got to play hardball and just penny pinch everything we got. I don't know. There's just certain things behind closed doors that seems to me that this team was forced and had a budget. That's what it seems to be at the end of the day. I feel like they had a budget to work with based on what from Jed York, because he's tired of wasting money. Dre Greenlaw, a lot of 49ers fans are upset. I totally understand, but I promise you, like heading into this draft, they're going to look at linebackers and they're going to draft maybe 2 or 3. They're going to draft one probably in the 3rd round. They're going to draft one early 4th, and then maybe one 6th or 7th to get another guy. They understand how important it is to have that downhill, great tackler linebacker, because that's what Dre Greenlaw was. He's really good. Like, Dre Greenlaw was actually good between the 5-yard line as well, like the short passes, et cetera. He's good at that too. So it kind of allowed Fred Warner to really play the intermediate pass, cover some tight ends and running backs, et cetera. I feel like in this draft, are they going to go after someone like Jahad Campbell? Because he is a downhill linebacker who has the ability, is an excellent tackler. He makes decisions. He just does his thing. Are they going to go after someone like Demetrius Knight, Danny Stutzman? I expect in the draft, they're going to make linebacker, D tackle, and D end a huge priority in this draft. Like, don't be surprised if we take a linebacker in the 2nd or 3rd round, just based on the desperation they needed. They went after for Dre Greenlaw. It just says a lot. Let me know what you guys think about this Dre Greenlaw situation. I'm sure you guys are bummed. Let me know in the comments. And, should we have overpaid for him? Let me know if you're okay with him being gone. Do you think this was a dumb move? Do you think, like, okay, if they love this guy, why didn't they do this? I'd love to hear it, because at the end of the day, this is just one big conversation. Be sure to like the video as well. It helps me out a lot. It supports the channel a lot. And this is something I love to do, and I cannot do it without you. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next video. Bang, bang, not a gang, baby.